In Moscow, hundreds of people attended a funeral service for prominent director Yuri Lyubimov, who died on October the 5th at the age of 97. Lyubimov founded Moscow's famous Taganka theatre in 1964 and directed many avant-garde productions there. He was stripped of his Soviet citizenship in 1984 for criticising Soviet cultural policies, but later returned to Moscow and continued his theatrical career well into his 90s. Also in Moscow, the opposition Yabloko party protested in front of the State Duma against a draft law that offers state compensation for Russians whose foreign assets are frozen under international sanctions. The Yabloko activist played the role of an oligarch to protest against the so-called Rotenberg law, named for a billionaire friend of Vladimir Putin, whose Italian properties have been seized. The draft legislation is being discussed in a first reading at the Duma. In Dnipropetrovsk, Ukraine, mourners laid flowers on the coffins of 21 soldiers killed in clashes in the eastern Donbass region. The soldiers, who had not been identified, were killed in fighting around the town of Ilovaisk, one of the recent flashpoints of the separatist conflict. In Bosnia-Herzegovina, dozens of young activists danced and drummed in central Sarajevo to call attention to youth issues ahead of general elections scheduled for October the 12th. The activists from across Bosnia presented 50 priority issues they say the new government will need to address. Their demands included better opportunities for education and jobs and faster integration with European institutions. In the Afghan capital Kabul, 5 men were executed for the gang rape of 4 women in August. The case sparked national outrage and public demands for the death penalty. The death sentence was authorised by President Hamid Karzai on his last day in office. A 6th man was also executed for murder in an unrelated case. In Peshawar, northwest Pakistan, dozens of tribal elders gathered to demand that the government help them return to their homes in North Waziristan as soon as possible. The tribal elders and other displaced people warned that they would begin a protest march to Islamabad if their demands are not met soon. Some 1 million people have been displaced from the North Waziristan tribal region since the government launched an offensive against militants there in June. In the Kyrgyz capital Bishkek, the One World Kyrgyzstan Human Rights Documentary Film Festival got off to a festive start. Audiences can choose from films from 10 countries that share this year's theme, the right to development. The film festival is now in its 8th year and is a sister event of human rights film festivals around the world. And that's the video roundup from Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty.